helping the husband manage the company. All right, my lovely lot. Emily Bennett here, and today I'm going to mix things up a bit. So, picture this. James, my husband, comes to me the other night, eyes wide, full of stress. He's in the middle of managing a pretty hefty deal at his company, and let's just say things weren't exactly going to plan. Naturally, I stepped in, because, let's be honest, behind every good man, there's a woman who's actually making things happen, right? After a cheeky bit of encouragement, you know the kind, we sat down with a bottle of red, and I started thinking, managing a business is a bit like preparing for war, and what better war to draw some lessons from than World War II? Stick with me here, because while WW2 was one of the darkest chapters in history, it was also filled with tactical lessons that can help us build a solid, unshakable business today. So, grab yourself a cuppa, and let's dive into how the strategies, resilience, and hard-earned wisdom from World War II can help us run a business that's built to last. 1. The importance of strategy. Plan like Churchill. Let's kick things off with one of the biggest lessons from World War II. Strategy is everything. Winston Churchill, the British bulldog himself, knew this better than anyone. When the war began, Britain wasn't exactly ready for what was coming, but Churchill understood that if you don't have a solid strategy in place, you're doomed to fail. Now, how does this apply to business? Well, let's take James's company as an example. He was knee-deep in managing this deal, but had no clear plan on how to handle the competition. It reminded me of how Britain had to quickly pivot and form alliances, especially with the United States, to outmaneuver the Axis powers. If Churchill hadn't pushed for a strategic plan, the war could have gone very differently. In business, it's all about looking ahead, planning for the next step, and having contingencies in place. You can't just react to what's happening in the moment. You need to be like Churchill and think 3 steps ahead. Know who your competitors are. Figure out where your opportunities lie, and don't be afraid to pivot when the landscape changes. 2. Adapt or perish. The Blitz spirit in business. Next up, let's talk about resilience. One of the most iconic images from WW2 is the Blitz. German bombs raining down on London night after night, and the British public refusing to let it break them. People took shelter, but then they got right back up, dusted themselves off, and carried on. The phrase, "keep calm and carry on," came out of this very spirit. The Blitz taught us that adaptation is key to survival, and this applies to business too. When challenges hit, whether it's a market crash, a new competitor, or a major deal falling through, you've got 2 choices: crumble or adapt and overcome. I'll tell you a little story from when James first started his company. Things were going well at first, but after about a year, a massive client pulled out unexpectedly, and it felt like the roof had caved in. It was a proper Blitz moment. We could have panicked, but instead, we adapted. We looked for new markets, made some tough cuts, and found creative ways to keep the business running. Just like London during the Blitz, when things go sideways, you don't give up. You adjust, get creative, and push through. Resilience in the face of adversity is what separates businesses that survive from those that crumble. 3. Collaboration. Wins. Wars. Form strategic alliances. Now, we all know that WW2 wasn't won by one nation alone. It was the combined efforts of the Allies that eventually led to victory. Britain, the United States, the Soviet Union, they might not have seen eye to eye on everything, but they knew they needed each other to win the war. In business, it's exactly the same. Collaboration is key. You don't have to do everything on your own. In fact, trying to go it alone can be a massive mistake. Look at your competitors, partners, or even other industries and ask yourself, who can I team up with to achieve a common goal? Sometimes, Working with the right people can help you break into new markets, secure resources, or just give you the strength to survive a tough time. I remember a time when James was reluctant to partner with another company because he thought it would mean giving up control. But, after a bit of nudging from me, and maybe another cheeky glass of wine, he reached out, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions he ever made. That partnership opened doors he couldn't have opened alone. Strategic alliances, whether formal partnerships or informal networks, can be the difference between survival and success. The Allies knew this, and so should you. 4. Learn from setbacks, Dunkirk, and business pivots. Let's talk about Dunkirk, a disaster that turned into a symbol of British resilience. In 1940, British and French troops were stranded on the beaches of Dunkirk, surrounded by German forces. It was supposed to be a catastrophic defeat, but thanks to a miraculous evacuation, most of the troops were saved, and they lived to fight another day. In business, you're going to have your Dunkirk moments, times when everything seems lost, and you're ready to throw in the towel. But just like Dunkirk, you need to look at every setback as an opportunity to pivot and regroup. James had a real Dunkirk moment early in his career when a product launch went horribly wrong. The clients weren't happy, the feedback was rough, and honestly, it could have sunk his company. But instead of letting it crush him, we treated it as a learning experience. We reevaluated, shifted our approach, and launched a revised version that was much more successful. The lesson here? Don't be afraid to retreat, regroup, and come back stronger. Setbacks aren't the end. They're part of the journey. And sometimes, like Dunkirk, a well-executed retreat can lead to a much bigger win down the line. 5. Technology as a game changer, the radar advantage. Finally, let's talk about innovation. One of the things that gave Britain a major edge in WW2 was the development of radar technology. It helped them detect incoming German bombers and prepare the defense way before the planes even reached the coast. This small but powerful piece of innovation made a huge difference in the outcome of the war. In business, technology, and innovation can be your radar. Whether it's using AI to streamline operations, tapping into data analytics to understand your customers, or adopting new tools to increase efficiency, embracing innovation gives you an advantage over your competitors. James's company went through this when they implemented a new CRM system to better manage client relationships. At first, it was a headache. New tech always is. But once it was up and running, it transformed how they did business. Suddenly, they had insights and efficiencies they never even thought were possible. The lesson? Don't be afraid of new technology. Like radar in WW2, it can be the edge that tips the balance in your favor. So, there you have it. World War II lessons for building a solid, unshakable business. From having a clear strategy, being resilient in the face of adversity, forming key alliances, learning from setbacks, and embracing innovation, these wartime tactics can help you win in the business world today. What do you think? Have you had any Dunkirk moments in your business journey? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on business, strategy, and everything in between. Cheers for watching! And remember, business is a battle, but with the right strategy, you can come out on top.